At least 538 people have been killed in a security force crackdown on nationwide protests in Iran, and over 10,600 others have been detained. That's according to a US-based group known as the Human Rights Activist News Agency.
Sir, on Iran, have they crossed your red line yet to trigger a response?
Well, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed.
On January 11th, US President Donald Trump announced that the American military is looking at some very strong options against Iran, a pointed signal suggesting that Washington is now actively considering decisive action amid the worsening unrest inside the Islamic Republic. Trump's comments followed a string of repeated warnings to Tehran over its harsh crackdown on protesters, reinforcing his earlier threats that the US will not tolerate continued bloodshed or suppression of pro-democracy movements. When pressed by reporters on whether Iran's leadership had crossed his administration's red line during the wave of anti-regime protests, Trump's tone was firm, suggesting that the United States will respond if the violence continues. The president's remarks came shortly after US-based human rights organization claimed that over 500 demonstrators have been killed across Iran, sparking calls for global intervention and heightened scrutiny of Tehran's actions.
At least 538 people have been killed in a security force crackdown on nationwide protests in Iran, and over 10,600 others have been detained. That's according to a US-based group known as the Human Rights Activist News Agency. This group has been accurate through multiple rounds of unrest in Iran in recent years, and they rely on activists on the ground inside of the Islamic Republic to cross-check figures to verify deaths and arrests take place. Now, it's incredibly difficult right now to understand the full picture of the ongoing crackdown and the demonstrations in Iran, which have been going on for more than 2 weeks now. The internet has been cut, and international phone calls are blocked from reaching telephones inside of Iran. The Iranian government also has provided no overall casualty figures. The Associated Press also has not been able to independently assess what the death toll is because of these restrictions. However, it follows many videos that we've seen over the last 2 weeks with the sound of gunfire in the streets in these protests. We've also seen videos that apparently show dead bodies. And the Human Rights Activist News Agency says the vast majority of those killed were protesters. There have been dozens of security force members killed as well. But all this shows that these protests are going to continue, are going to remain a major challenge for the Islamic Republic. And activists warn that this death toll may still rise even further.
Sir, on Iran, have they crossed your red line yet to trigger a response?
Well, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination.
Which options have you been briefed on? Are you meeting with senior officials?
I'm going to tell you the
Are you meeting with your
Am I
senior
going to really, are you asking me to say what will they do, where will we attack, when, and at what angle will we attack from?
Are you
Who are you
considering?
with?
I'm with the U.S. White House TV pool. I'm wondering, are you being briefed on options?
Network are you?
I'm with CNN, sir.
Why don't you just say I'm with CNN? She says I'm with the White House pool.
Yes.
And I say, what? You're with CNN. You're with
I'm with CNN,
you're
yes.
with fake news.
Iran
Because
says that-
CNN is fake news.
Iran
Go ahead,
says
give me a question.
Can I ask how you're balancing and how you're deciding your response, the balance between helping protesters versus hindering them? Because I imagine that's a delicate balance to strike.
I mean, some of the protesters were killed through the stampeding. I mean, there's so many of them. And some were shot. We get a full report. I'm getting an hourly report, and we're going to make a determination.
Sir, the son of the disposed Shah, the son of the disposed take action in Iran? Is that a serious option? And are those
People have been shot, and we're looking at it.
Are you going to send Starlink to Iran, sir, to help the people in the ground with the internet blackout for more than 72 hours?
We're going to be talking about that. We may get the internet going, if that's
Are
possible.
you talking to Musk
We may
about
speak to Elon, because as you know, he's very good at that kind of thing. He's got a very good company. So we may speak to Elon Musk. And in fact, I'm going to call him as soon as I'm finished with you.
Specifically, Iran said that they would consider military and commercial bases as legitimate targets if you struck. Are you concerned about?
If they do that, we'll consider things targets that they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. They won't even believe it.
Do you think
I have options that are so strong. So I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force.
Do you think Iran takes your threats seriously?
I think so. Don't you think so, CNN? Don't you think so? Wouldn't you say that they probably do at this point? After going through it for years with me, being hit, Soleimani, al-Baghdadi, the Iran nuclear threat wiped out, don't you think, and then you just had Venezuela, don't you think, she says, CNN, do you think they take your threat seriously? Wouldn't you say they do after all of the things we've done? What a stupid question.
Back on Iran, the Ayatollah said that he thinks that the protesters are trying to, quote, please you. Do you see it that way? What's your message to the Iranian people?
I don't know that they're trying to please me. They named a boulevard after me, but that's pretty pleasing. But I don't think they're trying to please. I think they just want peace. They want to have freedom. The protesters are after freedom. Iran has not allowed freedom for a long time. And the protesters, I don't think they're trying to appease me. They're trying to get somebody to help them. They're under siege. And now it looks like they're being shot, which is a very bad thing.
Is the administration in contact with the Iranian opposition leaders as this is unfolding?
Yeah.
What's the message to them?
Yeah. You're going to find out pretty soon.
Do you sense any willingness from Iran to engage diplomatically with you or perhaps negotiate on their nuclear program?
With Iran?
Yeah, do you think they want to engage diplomatically with you?
They do. They called
They called you? Is it still
yesterday.
an option? Is it still an option?
Iran called to negotiate.
Yesterday.
The leaders of Iran called. They want to negotiate. I think they're tired of being beat up by the United States.
Are you sure you details on that call?
Iran wants to negotiate, yes.
Negotiate what?
We may meet with them. I mean, a meeting is being set up. But we may have to act because of what's happening before the meeting.
Right.
But a meeting is being set up. Iran called. They want to negotiate.
Amid these developments, reports have surfaced that senior officials within the Trump administration have already engaged in preliminary discussions regarding possible U.S. attack plans targeting Iranian assets and strategic facilities. According to the Wall Street Journal, these internal talks are primarily focused on identifying potential strike sites, debating which Iranian military or command centers could be targeted should the president authorize direct action. One of the most serious options reportedly on the table includes the possibility of a large-scale aerial assault aimed at crippling Iran's military capability, expanding the campaign into an overt regional confrontation if executed. Meanwhile, separate reports confirm that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met U.S. Senator Marco Rubio on January 10 for closed-door discussions, an indication of growing coordination between the U.S. and Israel on the unfolding Iran situation. According to diplomatic sources, the two leaders reviewed developments related to the Iranian protests, the tense situation in war-torn Syria, and renewed efforts aimed at negotiating a fragile peace settlement in Gaza. Adding to the mounting tension, the New York Times reports that President Trump is seriously considering authorizing limited strikes on Iran, amid the government-imposed internet blackout and widespread crackdown on protesters. Citing unnamed sources, the Times revealed that among the various plans being evaluated are precision strikes on non-military targets in Tehran, operations designed to send a political message without igniting full-scale war.